Today we're going to be talking about my most anticipated books of 2014, and I'm so excited to share with all the books that I'm excited to read of next year, so stay tuned if you want to learn about all the awesome books that are coming out next year. Like I said, this is going to be most anticipated books of 2014. I made the same video last year and stuff like that, so I want to keep this rolling now. I started doing the research for this like in November. That's how ready I am for it. But I will tell you this before we jump into the books, because there's like 21, a lot. There is going to be some books that I don't mention. Either I have not heard about them or I'm just quite frankly not interested in them. Now, just because this is just my list, so I'm not listing every book that I think sounds okay. I'm really listing the books that I want to read, that I will definitely read the next year. So there's going to be some on there that you're just like, can't believe she didn't mention that. All this kind of other stuff. We have different taste. I'm sure you guys all know that. One book could be great for you and it would not be good for me. So these are the books that I am most excited about, that I am most anticipated with, and yeah, I may have left some. I really tried to find as much as I could, to be honest with you. I really tried. I went to several blogs, like at least 20 different blogs, scoured Goodreads, so I really tried my best. Now there's going to be some that I missed that maybe I'll do a two-parter of this. Maybe it'll come out in the middle of the next year. These will not be in order because I'm not that organized. Anyway, let's start off with the sequels that are coming out next year that I'm most excited about. The first one is going to be The City of Heavenly Fire by Cassandra Clare. This is coming out May 27th. And I think now all these dates are tentative now. They might change, so I don't want you to harass me in the comments like, this date is totally wrong. It could have changed in the time I put this up. Who knows? It could have changed after this video's been up 5 months. Who knows? Book release dates change all the time. Anyway, this is going to be the 6th and the final book in the Mortal Instrument series. I am so excited for this and so ready for it. I'm ready to read the last book and see Clare and Jace get their junk together. The next book is Cress by Marissa Meyer. This comes out February 4th. This is the 3rd book in the Lunar Chronicles. Now, if you're unfamiliar with this series, it's a spin on some of our favorite fairy tales. So the first one, Cinder, was basically a loosely interpretation of Cinderella. Our second one, Scarlet, was a loosely interpretation of Little Red Riding Hood. Cress is going to be about Rapunzel, who is an amazing hacker. Who knew? I didn't know she was an amazing hacker, I really didn't. But I'm excited to read this. This is a great series. If you definitely love fairy tales, I would definitely recommend this one. Night Me by Tarah Mafi. This series is about Juliet, who has a touch that, well, let's just say lethal would be putting it lightly. Because if she touched you, you know, no more you. I am so ready for this book. Team Warner for the win. Like, needs to happen. Next book is The One by Kiera Cass. This comes out May 6th. This is another 3rd and final book in a series. This one is the Selection series. This series is kind of all about The Bachelor meets dystopian. So we have all these girls from different sectors or whatever they're called, almost like the Hunger Games, if you will, like rich to poor, and they compete for the love of Prince Maxon. And yeah, this takes place with a girl named America, and I'm ready for this book. I wasn't super in love with the elite, but I'm ready for America to get her head on straight and to like go for the gold. I will say this series has some of the best covers I have ever seen. They're cohesive, they're beautiful, they fit in with the book 100%, and I love it. Isla and the Happily Ever After by Stephanie Perkins, and this comes out May 13th. Now this is kind of a, not so much a sequel, it's kind of a contemporary series that kind of intermelds characters in it, so if that makes sense. If you're a fan of happy, love, romantic, smiley books, this series is definitely for you. Each book focuses on a different character, like I said, but it intertwines characters from previous novels in it, so it's kind of like a series, if that makes sense, because this is what series do. Next book is Split Second by Cassie West. This comes out February 11th. This series is about teens that have all these awesome supernatural powers, and this one kind of takes place from a different character, but kind of intermelds them, I believe. And I really enjoyed Pivot Point, so I'm excited to see the second one of this. The next book is The Infinite Sea by Yancey, coming out May 6th or September. I don't know the dates Goodreads and Amazon are saying two different things. I loved The Fifth Wave, one of my all-time favorite books of 2013. Like, I loved it. Now, we don't have a cover in this one, nor do we know much about it, but I need this book in my life. Like, it needs to happen. Speaking of books I need in my life, I need the final and last book in the Darkest Mind series by Alexandra Bracken. Now, if you're unfamiliar with the Darkest Mind series, the Darkest Mind series is all about, it's this dystopian, a kind of darker one about teens that have these powers that get sent to these rehabilitation camps and all this kind of stuff, and I really love it. Now, we don't know the title of this book nor the cover, because I think we don't know the titles because we know that the books have a cohesive, they will form a sentence. So we have The Darkest Minds, Never Fade, and da da da. What is that sentence? I need to know that sentence. What does it mean? In other news, I really need to read this book because this book is another one of my all-time favorites of this past year. I loved it and I need it right now. I don't know the date on this either. Alexandra Bracken, you're breaking my heart. And the last sequel that I know about is going to be the third Raven Cycle series book and by Maggie Stievater. We don't have a title or release date or cover for this as well. Raven Boys is all about supernatural kind of ley lines and stuff like that. It's definitely got that paranormal aspect to it, so if you love that, definitely check that out. I think that's all of our sequels. Let's get on to the new starting of series and other books. I need a breath. Like, give me a second. First book is Panic by Lauren Oliver. This comes out March 4th. From the author who brought us the amazing Delirium trilogy. It's Panic, which is a contemporary novel about a girl named Heather. What a great name. I'm not biased at all. Heather's my name in case you're wondering. Heather gets involved in playing this game called Panic. Panic is like this legendary game that all high school seniors play that are like the stakes are high and it gets really scary and really intense. Sign me up! Not for the game, but for the book, obviously, because this sounds awesome. The book is To All the Boys I've Loved Before by Jenny Han, which comes out April 22nd. The book is all about Laura, who never told any of her crushes that well. She crushed on him. She never told any boy her feelings. She never did anything. Instead, she would write down her feelings in a form of a letter and then put them in a box and stuff it under her bed and never see it again. Well, one day she comes home to find that that box is gone and all the letters are gone and they have been delivered to all the boys that she wrote. So it's going to get real interesting for Laura real fast because all these boys probably going to be knocking on her door. Like, what the heck? Why'd you write me? You love me? I didn't know. It's probably going to be something like that, I'm guessing. This book is The Murder Complex by Lindsey Cummings. This comes out June 10th. This book is set in a world where the murder rate is higher than the birth rate. 15-year-old Meadow has been trained by her father to fight, to kill, to assassinate, and survive in any situation. Where she lives is controlled by the Murder Complex, an organization that tracks the population like with precision, like with crazy precision. Meadow meets Zephyr, hopefully I said that right, who is one of MC's programmed assassins, even though he doesn't know it. Sounds really amazing. Like, it's gonna get really crazy when he gets like woken up to be like killing Meadow now, and it's gonna get intense, and it sounds awesome. Avalin by Mindee Arnett. This comes out January 21st. This novel is told in, I'm gonna have to read strictly from this one because it's so crazy. This one is told in space where the very star systems make up the Confederation. Jeff and his crew of teenage mercenaries have survived by stealing unsecured metadata. Jeff just wants to earn his parents' ship back, but when he finds out information that both the crime bosses and the Federation and the government are willing to kill for, he will have to ask himself how far is he willing to go to get the freedom that he always wanted. I've recently found a love for sci-fi books, so this one sounds awesome and the cover looks amazing. Like, it looks like a movie cover almost. Hashtag Scandal by Sarah Ockler, June 17th. I really do not like the title of this book, but I love Sarah Ockler. Lucy goes with her best friend's Ellie's date when Ellie gets sick right before prom. Lucy doesn't want to go on this date, but Ellie insists that she does. Ellie's date turns out to be Lucy's lifelong crush, Cole. They share a kiss at the end of the night, and Lucy knows she must tell Ellie about it the next day, like it has to happen. But the only thing is, before she can tell Ellie, she learns that her Facebook photo tag page has been riddled with pages of her and Cole kissing and stuff like that, along with the rest of the school. So all these pictures of prom are up on school and it's been tagged and everybody's like getting crazy fights and all this kind of stuff. I know that Facebook can be a real bad thing sometimes. book is Dear Killer by Katherin Ewell. It's on April 1st. This book is about Kit, who is a teenage serial killer. That's right, I said that right. Who receives letters and cash to kill. Sounds amazing, and fun fact, the author is 18. How awesome is that? Dorothy Must Die by Danielle Paige, coming out to April 1st. This book is about the Wizard of Oz, only with a completely different spin on it. Oz is a place where good witches can't be trusted, wicked witches may be the good guys, and the Yellow Brick Road, well, it's literally crumbling. Happened to make it like this. Dorothy found a way to come back to Oz and seized all the power, and the power has gone to her head. This book follows Amy, the other girl from Kansas. She's been recruited by the Revolutionary Order of the Wicked to remove the Tin Man's heart, steal the Scarecrow's brain, and take the Lion's courage, and then kill Dorothy. This might be like one of my top 5. Like, I just think this sounds so awesome. Like, I want to read it right now. Since You've Been Gone by Morgan Matson. Not the Kelly Clarkson song. Since You've Been Gone. Nope, can't sing, sorry. This comes out May 6th. This is about a girl named Emily who really didn't do much of anything until she met Sloane. Sloane pulls Emily out of her shell. They do crazy things together and have a great time, but right before summer, Sloane suddenly disappears. Sloane leaves behind a random to-do list for Emily. That Emily would never really do. Dipping, I think, and going, so, I don't know, saying crazy things. I love Morgan Matson. You guys know how much I love Amy Rogers' Epic Detour and Second Chance Summer, so any Morgan Matson book, sign me up any day for. This book is The Impossible Knife of Memory by Laurie Halse Anderson. This book is about Haley, who moves from town to town with her dad because he struggles to escape the demons that tortured him since his return from Iraq. They move to a town where her dad grew up, and this novel is all about PTSD and the struggles and the demons that come with it, and we all know that's real and that happens all the time to a lot of people, and it's horrible. If you know Laurie Halse Anderson, she writes these amazing, very, very deep, very cutting issue type of books that I love, and I bet this one's gonna be amazing. This book is Sinner by Maggie Stievater. Remember the Shiver series? You know, the one about the wolves and Sam and Grace? It is notorious for getting a lot of hate on the booktube community. I, for one, enjoyed this series despite the last book. So, listen up to all you Shiver fans. Are you ready? Are you listening? This is going to be the 4th book in the Wolves of Mercy Fall series. And this book follows Cole, who I think we meet in the last book, I think. Anyway, it's been so long since I've read it, but I'm ready. I'm so excited to read it, and I think I'm just excited. And I'm excited. Love Letters to the Dead by Ava I can't pronounce her name. I forgot to write dates for these two. Whoops. It's about a girl named Laura who has an assignment in her class to write a letter to a dead person. She chose Kurt Cobain because, like her sister, Kurt Cobain died young. Soon, Laurel has a notebook full of letters to people like Janis Joplin, Amy Winehouse, Amelia Earhart, Heath Ledger, and many, many more. She writes all her feelings in these letters, also about the abuse she suffered while her sister May was supposed to be looking out for her. The book is about discovering who you are and learning how to cope with the past. This one just sounds phenomenal. This book is After the End by Amy Plum, and this comes out May 6th. World War III has left the world ravaged by nuclear radiation. A lucky few escaped to the Alaskan wilderness, where they survived for like the last 30 years. This is about Juno, who has known this truth her whole life. That's all she's known. When she returns from a hunting trip one day, she learns that her clan is gone, so she takes off to find them. And then she learns that the world has definitely not ending, that cities are thriving and technology is amazing, and that everything that she thought she knew was a complete lie. So that's gonna be a real shock if that happened. And our last book is What I Thought Was True by Huntley Fitzpatrick, coming out April 15th. This is kind of a sequel to My Left Next Door. It's like a contemporary where the crossover characters, you know about that. So that is all the books that I am most anticipating for next year. I know there's so many more that I probably didn't list, but if you guys have heard any of these, please let me know. Which books are you looking most forward to next year? Please, I would love to talk about it. And yeah, I'm excited for 2014 and what it brings for book-wise. Like, it's gonna be, sounds like an amazing year full of awesome books, and I am ready to read them all. I will see you guys next time. Bye.